Hello, my name is Joel, and I am here with LearnMyComputer.com, and this is another lesson about how to use your computer. We've been talking a lot about files and folders, and I just want you to understand that this is a very basic overview of this tool called files and folders, and it's very important to know so that we can move on to the fun stuff. Here I have two folders, and last week we talked about these folders and how I can double click on them and see the contents of the folder. We talked about the different views. There's this kind of view, which just gives us icons and shows us the different icons and names of the files, just like on the desktop, and I can drag them around by clicking and dragging. And I can go to the second view, which is called list view, and it shows the files in a list. Now, so this is what we're going to talk about a lot today. And the next is column view, and the next is cover flow, where you can see these big cover flow images and move through them. That's kind of fun. Now I'm going to go back to list view because I want to talk about what's going on here, and I think it is going to be very helpful because it is a topic that will help you in the future using other programs, not just this program, which is called Finder. And Finder, again, is the program where we can see the files that are on our computer. So what I want you to understand here is that the files are listed and their information is in the row of the file. So we say this is a row because it's like a table where you will see, I'm going to highlight each file one at a time, and you'll see that the highlight goes all the way across. So all the information here is about this one file. And same with this one, Joel's Movie. It was modified on April 13th, 2011 at 4:07 p.m. And this is the size of that file, which is something we'll talk about in the future, and this is the kind of file it is. Now this is what we're going to look at here today because this can be some very useful information. There are rows of information about each file, and then there are columns that show you the same information about many files. So there is a row that has the information about this particular file, and then there's a column such as this name column that shows all the files' names vertically. Now flagwaving.mov is a file, and it was modified, meaning the last time it was changed was May 28th, 2007 at 12:05 p.m. The size is 73.6 megabytes. We're going to talk a lot about that in the future, but right now just know that this is how much space this file takes up on the computer. It takes up 73.6 megabytes, and we will talk about what megabytes are, but just suffice it to say it is a unit of measurement of file size, and file size is just how much space that takes up on your computer. So like if your computer was a house, that would be how much space it takes in your house. So you only have so many square feet in your house, and when you put stuff in there, it takes up some space. Same with this. You only have so much space on your computer, and this is how much space that file takes up. And then kind, which is really just tells you what type of file this is or what kind of file it is, so you know what program it will open it up in, and also a little bit about what the file does. This is a QuickTime movie, meaning that it is a video, and it's opened by what's called QuickTime, which is an application where you can watch videos. So flagwaving.mov. Now .mov, what's that? I've heard of .com. What's .mov? MOV stands for QuickTime Movie. So it's a movie. So files have these, what they're called, extensions on them, and it's just dot and then has 3 letters, and the 3 letters tell you what kind of a file it is. And it tells your computer that too. So like if I were to email this to somebody, if I were to email a file and they received it, their computer might not know what kind of a file it is, but it will know if it has an extension like this, .mov. Their computer will say, oh, this is a QuickTime movie file. So that's very important. Sometimes you don't have those on here, like letter to Joel doesn't have dot whatever it is. And if I sent that to someone, let's say, who had a Windows computer, they might be like, I can't open that. And I'm sure this has happened to a lot of you out there, where you get a file or somebody gets a file, and or you send a file to somebody and then they say, you know, I can't open it. That is usually because the file name doesn't have an extension. Doesn't say dot blah blah blah, 3 letters. And that dot and then the 3 letters tells the other computer, oh, this is what type of a file this is, and this is the application that will open that file. We'll talk more about that when we get into the applications other than the application we're in, which is called Finder. And Finder, again, is the application where you can look at your files. So that's pretty much all the information I want to give you now. We're going to talk a little bit more about this next week. And my name is Joel, and again, you can email me at joel@learnmycomputer.com with any questions or suggestions, and I will talk to you next week.